Dear students, let's start with the vectors. We'll start with the basic definitions first. Scalar quantities. Scalar quantities are those physical quantities which have only magnitude. And examples are mass, distance, velocity, magnitude, or we can say for instead of velocity we should use the word speed here. So speed is a scalar quantity. Velocity, if we are talking, it means it is a vector quantity because it would have direction also, volume, etc. Vector quantities, they have magnitude as well as direction, and examples are displacement, velocity, area, force. Now displacement, if I'm saying the body has been displaced 5 meters towards north, so if I'm talking about its magnitude as well as its direction, so that would be the vector quantity. 5 Newton force is acting on the body towards right side, towards north, towards south. So when we are talking, means when we need direction also for any physical quantity specification, that physical quantity is vector quantity. Now let us see some of the differences between the scalar quantity and vector quantity. So what are these differences? Scalar quantity and vector quantity. Scalar quantity, they have only magnitude, no direction. Vector quantities have magnitude as well as direction. Changes if their magnitude changes because they have only magnitude. So whenever the magnitude is changing, then their values would be changed. But vector quantities have both the things. You see, they have direction as well as magnitude. So if either of the direction or magnitude is going to get changed, the value would be changed. Either one of the two things is going to change, or both of the magnitude and direction are changing, then also the value of the vector quantity would be changed. Addition by simple rules of algebra. Suppose if you want to add two distances, two lengths, two volumes, to any two physical quantities, scalar quantities, you have to simply use the simple rules of algebra. But in case of vectors, we cannot add them simply. For example, if I am saying 5 Newton force on the body is acting in this direction, this is 5 Newton, and another is one more force is there which is acting in a different direction, 5 Newton and 5 Newton, but you see we cannot add them simply to make 10 Newton force. If they are in the same direction, then only we can say the total net force acting on the body is 10 Newton. But if you see 5 Newton force, if two 5 Newton forces are acting on the body in two opposite directions, then the net force on the body would be 0. So we cannot use the simple algebra to add two physical quantities which are vectors. Now let us see how we can represent vectors. Generally, we represent them with the straight line with arrowhead over it. Now you see, if this is a straight line, this length of this vector will give you the magnitude. More is the length, more is the magnitude, and this arrow on it is showing its direction. And similarly, if you want to write, suppose, force, velocity, area, generally we write them with the capital bold letters and with arrowhead over it. Force can be written like this, velocity can be written like this. You need to put one arrow on it. So this arrow is required. If this arrow is not there, this may be a scalar quantity also. So whenever you want to write any vector quantity, you must put arrow on it. Now some other definitions. Position vector. What is position vector? So this is what, suppose you are having a particle. This is some reference frame, and some particle is at point P. This is any position, instantaneous position of the particle. If you join this position with the origin of this reference system, you will get one vector. So this vector is the position vector. So basically what we are doing here, we are simply joining the position of the particle with the origin or reference point. So that vector is the position vector. So OP here is the position vector. Next is displacement vector. As the name is indicating, displacement vector is what? It would be showing the displacement of the particle. If the particle is displaced from its initial position to final position, a vector joining initial and final position of the particle and in the direction of displacement is called displacement vector. You can see initially the particle was here and finally it has been displaced to point Q. So PQ is the displacement vector which is just joining its initial and final position, and this arrow is showing the direction in which the body has been displaced. So here you see PQ is the displacement vector. Equal vectors are those vectors which have equal magnitude and same direction. You can see here two vectors are drawn, vector A and B. Their magnitude are equal and their directions are also same. Then only we can say that two vectors are equal. Negative of a vector. Suppose if I'm having this vector A, and you see negative of a vector is what? If I draw same type of vector but in the opposite direction, magnitude is same, length is same, but this arrow is opposite. So you see vector B is negative of vector A. Modulus of a vector, length or magnitude of a vector. So modulus of a vector will give you only the magnitude of the vector. Unit vector is what? Unit vector is a vector having magnitude equal to 1. Unity magnitude, unit magnitude if a vector is having, that vector is called unit vector. Generally these unit vectors are used to tell the direction of a given vector. Any vector can be written as, suppose this is a vector, this can be written as magnitude into direction. So direction is generally written by this letter cap. You see this is a mod, we know that this will give you the magnitude. Into the direction is given by this unit vector. So A cap is the direction, or it is called unit vector. So how we can write unit vector? Unit vector is basically the vector divided by magnitude. Collinear vector, the vectors which act along same line or parallel line. So they are called collinear vectors. So you can see here some of the vectors are drawn. A, B, they are acting along the same line. D is also along the same line. C and E, they are acting on the parallel line. So all these vectors are the collinear vectors. Coplanar vectors, as the name is indicating, the vectors lying in the same plane are called coplanar vectors. So you can see here I have drawn many of the vectors and you see they are drawn on the same plane. So all these vectors which are lying in the same plane, they are the coplanar vectors. Co-initial vector, again it is as per its name, when initial point is same. So these two vectors, they are called co-initial vectors. So this is one of the vector, this is another vector, their initial point is same. So that type of vector is called co-initial vector. Zero vector or null vector, zero magnitude and arbitrary direction. So any vector which is having zero magnitude and arbitrary direction, that is called zero vector or null vector. Suppose if two vectors are equal, A and B are equal, then their subtraction, vector A minus vector B, would be a zero vector. Next is very important topic, addition of two vectors. Addition of two vectors. As we know that two vectors cannot be added simply. We have to use some special rules for the addition of the two vectors. So when you add two vectors, you will get a result that is called resultant of the two vectors. So how we can define resultant of two vectors? It is a vector which is going to produce the same effect as is produced by two vectors individually acting at a point. So the combined effect of the two vectors is called resultant vector. So what are the laws which are used for the addition of the two or more vectors? Triangle law of vector addition, parallelogram law of vector addition, and polygons law of vector addition. So we'll start with the triangle law of vector addition. Triangle law of vector addition states that if two vectors can be represented in magnitude and direction, means representation should be in terms of magnitude and direction, by the two sides of a triangle taken in one order, then their resultant would be represented by, in magnitude and direction again, by the third side of the triangle taken in opposite order. So you see, if one vector is this vector A and another is B, and you see their order is same, their direction is same, so both of them, they are moving in the same order, they are in the same order. So if you are able to represent two vectors by the two sides of the triangle taken in one order in their magnitude and direction, then the opposite side, opposite order you have to consider for the third side of the triangle. So resultant would be represented in magnitude and direction by the third side of the triangle taken in opposite order. So you can see here we are representing vector A and vector B by the two sides of the triangle taken in one order. So these two vectors, as per the rule, this third side of this triangle which is taken opposite in order will give you the resultant of these two vectors. Now let us see how we can find out the magnitude and direction of this resultant vector. Now you see, very simple rule of trigonometry we can use here when we have a right angle triangle. So what we have done here, we have dropped one perpendicular from this point G. So GH is a perpendicular which we have dropped on vector A, and you see we have to extend this vector a little in this direction. So we have dropped this perpendicular here. Now let us find out the resultant. Now resultant, when we are talking about resultant, we will ignore the directions. We are just interested in the length of this resultant vector, only length we need to find out. The total length of this side I want to calculate. So what we can do here, I can take this triangle, right angle triangle, and I will find out the length of this side using Pythagoras theorem. But before Pythagoras theorem, I must have this value and this value. You see, the length of this vector is A, length of this vector is B, and this angle is theta. Theta is the angle between the two vectors. So always theta, this angle you will not consider. This angle is not theta. Theta is this angle. Basically, angle between the two vectors is considered between the directions of the two vectors. This is one direction, this is another direction. So if you are taking this angle, this is between this direction and between this direction. This is not the direction of vector A. Direction of vector A is in this side. So you have to consider this angle. So angle theta is the angle between the two vectors, and using the trigonometry we can prove that this FH is what? FH is B cos theta and GH is B sin theta. So both of the lengths we have written here. So we will apply the Pythagoras theorem on this right angle triangle. So EG square is equal to GH square plus EH square. EH is what? EH is A plus B cos theta and GH is B sin theta. So you will substitute the values here. You can see both of the things we have calculated. FH is B cos theta, GH is B sin theta. Now using Pythagoras theorem, we have used it here. After little bit simplification, so you see A plus B cos theta, that was the base of the right angle triangle, and this is a perpendicular of right angle triangle. So you will get A square plus B square cos square theta plus 2AB cos theta plus B square sin square theta. Now you see both these two terms, they have B square. So we are going to combine both of these terms here. So B square I'm taking common. So what you will get inside the bracket, one is sin square theta plus cos square theta. You see, this is one very famous identity and its value is 1. We know that sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So what you will get? A square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. So this is r square. So what is r? R is the magnitude of our resultant vector, and it is equal to under root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Now a square, a is what? This is the magnitude of a. B is magnitude of b. And you see here we have not considered the directions. We are dealing only with the magnitudes. Now direction of vector r, that is phi. Let's go to the diagram again. So you see this is a resultant vector, and let us consider this is making angle phi with vector a. Now in which direction it is going? Either this direction, this direction. You see this angle phi will decide the direction of this resultant. So phi we need to calculate. So tangent phi we can find out. Tangent phi we know that this is perpendicular over base. So we will simply substitute the values of perpendicular and base. So tangent phi is gh over fh. Perpendicular is b sine theta, and fh is a plus b cos theta. So both of the things we have written here. So tan theta is what? Tan theta is b sine theta plus ab cos theta. So this is the resultant magnitude, and this is the direction of your resultant using triangle law of vector addition. Thank you.